Following the compaction of the subgrade and placing the geotextile, the next step is to make sure the aggregate base is ready for installation. Aggregate base materials vary widely across North America. How do you know what to use? Here are some guidelines for selecting base material. First, use the same base materials as those approved for use under asphalt pavements by your state or provincial Department of Transportation. There are readily available at local quarries. Make sure that your aggregate supplier is sending you state-approved road-based materials. The job foreman is responsible for evaluating materials delivered to the job site, so unacceptable materials should be rejected. A common problem with the aggregate base is too many fines. This is the material passing the number 200 or 75 micron sieve. You want to be sure from the sieve analysis that there's not too many fines or too few. Too many or too few fines in the base causes its strength to decrease when wet, and it becomes more susceptible to frost heaving. In order to prevent this, the fine material in any base should range between 5 and 11%. The cost of using cheap aggregates is not just the price of the material. Poorly graded material is harder to place, grade, and compact. It will also perform badly. This is very important for base material as well as sand. When you place and compact the base material, it needs the right amount of moisture to get the proper density. As with soil compaction, the moisture lubricates the particles so they move together during compaction. A quick field test for moisture is to squeeze a palmful of base in your hand. If it doesn't hold together when it's squeezed, it's too dry. If it holds together without any water droplets on your palm, then the moisture content is just about right. If any moisture is visible after squeezing the material, then the material is too wet. To add moisture to base material that is already spread, you need an open surface. The surface should not be compacted. It is important for proper compaction that the moisture goes all the way through the lift. Digging with a shovel or your boot can show if the moisture goes all the way through the lift. If your aggregate is in a pile, put a hose at the top. If it's spread out, you want to add as much volume as you can. Don't use a light spray. It will evaporate fast on a hot day. It's best to try to add water in the morning or evening for slower evaporation. The moment you've achieved proper moisture, you want to slow down the evaporation. You do this by closing the surface, back dragging the bucket over it, and smoothing it down. Then run the compaction equipment as quickly as you can over the surface. This effectively captures the moisture inside.